Seigneurs et nobles dames, pour votre sécurité, veuillez prendre quelques instants afin de vous familiariser avec l'emplacement des sorties de secours situées au haut de l'arène. Des effets stroboscopiques et atmosphériques seront utilisés ce soir lors du tournoi. Medieval Times promet un environnement entièrement sans fumée. Fumer n'est pas permis à l'intérieur du château. Merci de faire partie des nôtres et bon tournoi!
Emergency exits in case of attack over there, and there, and there. Starting in a foreign language known as French.
For joining us. While a brief visit to the age of chivalry may whet the appetite of the eager scholar, it will merely scratch the surface when discussing this most fascinating of eras.
Over the years, Medieval Times has catalogued the subjects and questions that most interested visiting royalty, and we would like to share them with you. So, listen closely, we'll check your knowledge as we go.
Very welcome.
For thousands of years, mankind has marked milestones in its history by staging elaborate celebrations.
Today, events such as royal weddings, political conventions, and even high school graduations are reminiscent of the great spectacle of the distant past.
Victories in battle, the coronation, the birth of an heir to the throne. These are all occasions accompanied by displays of entertainment and celebration, and like them, pageantry lay at the center of the medieval world.
The scale of these mighty celebrations were used to reinforce the power and the majesty of the ruling monarch.
I'm sorry I could not.
1,000 years ago, medieval kings ruled over realms that stretched from the Mediterranean Sea in the south to the shores of the Baltic in the north and west across the English Channel. The feudal system that Charlemagne helped create 2 centuries before held sway over much of what would become modern-day France, Germany, Belgium, Italy, and the United Kingdom.
To the south and west, Spain is under control of Muslims from North Africa, where architecture, medicine, art, and music are flourishing.
In the lands to the north and the east, control remains with the barbarian tribes, whose names will play a pivotal role in medieval history: the Angles, the Saxons, and the Nords.
As the new millennium dawned, a new warrior class emerged known as the Knights. This new European man-at-arms arrived upon the battlefield mounted on a highly trained war horse and remained mounted as long as he was able during the battle. His skills in service to his king earned him grants of land to administer in the king's name in return for his fealty or loyalty to the crown. This contract was the essence of the feudal system. When not employed expanding or defending the borders of the realm, the knight honed his skills competing in the tournament. Although the origins of the word knight are unknown to us today, the word we are familiar with had its beginning in several languages, all meaning boy, youth, servant, or vassal.
Often a member of the highest of noble families, these warriors might be found governing huge estates, lending their talents to the law, or even to the church. He was schooled in the arts of war from an early age, and he answered the call to arms with a sense of duty and honor.
In the Middle Ages, his prowess with arms was unequaled. He rode in the vanguard of every charge, and the sound of his approach was often enough to put the enemy to flight. His skill and his courage were matched only by his ferocity in battle. The brightly colored tunic and horse comparison were the exclusive privilege of the noble class, of which the knight was a member. The symbols and markings on the knight's costume, his battle flag, and his shield signal the presence of heraldry, which first emerged during the medieval age. Colors such as and gold extolled virtue, bravery, or wealth. Symbols fashioned after beasts found in the endless forests, the bear and the deer represented power and swiftness. Even creatures from faraway places, such as the lion, were used to denote strength. Picture yourself in the heat of battle. Hundreds of armored knights surround you. The air is thick with dust and ringing with the clash of swords. Everyone around you is covered with dirt and blood.
You either cannot see or cannot recognize anyone's face. How does one tell ally from enemy on the field of battle? Heraldry! Heraldry! It was the only way to tell friend from foe. You see, the symbols of heraldry, known as devices on the knight's shield, horse, flag, and tunic, enabled him to be recognized as either an ally or an enemy on the field of battle.
Each knight was memorized the heraldry of his allies in order to bring combat only to the enemy in the thick of a fight.
I'll get through the past line, no more important touchstone, conveying the strength, the power, and the majesty of the medieval age than a knight prepared for battle.
Well done, my lords.
We've come up with some questions that we thought would be fun to share with you, so don't be shy. If you think you know the answer, shout it out.
We'll give you some choices to think about, but only one will be right. We'll call the choices A, B, C, and D. Ready? Here we go.
Tournaments were held in celebration of great events. See if you could pick out an occasion where the king might hold a tournament. Would it be A, a victory in battle, B, the marriage of a son or daughter, C, the birth of an heir, or D, all of the above?
The correct answer is D. Births, marriages, victories in battle. These were all occasions for a great tournament. Let's try another.
What was the system of symbols or devices used on shields and flags called? Was it A, branding, B, heraldry, C, symbolism, or D, logos?
The correct answer is B. Heraldry was how one identified friend from foe in the heat of battle. Now, about the feast.
The most common question concerning the medieval dining experience concerns eating with one's hands. Now, this period, sometimes referred to as the Dark Ages, was short on craftsmen, materials, and hygiene. Our cutlery existed in many cultures and not unknown to nobles of northern Western Europe. It was rare and expensive.
True, my lady. But while civilizations in the Middle and Far East continued to develop cleanliness and decorum surrounding the day's meal, the dark part of the Dark Ages crept into the medieval dining hall. Now, everyone, hold up your fork. Come on, just put a hand in the air, doesn't matter. It can be right hand, left hand, either one can be your fork. Now, hold up your other hand. That, my friends, is your knife.
Thank you, Lord Chancellor. As we enjoy the event of eating with our hands today, we have the pleasure of doing so with modern-day surroundings.
Ah, but in the typical great hall of a nobleman during the medieval era, guests were seated on rough-hewn benches at long tables that were washed, but not necessarily cleaned. The air is thick with wood smoke from fireplaces where food is being prepared. A mist of animal fats or oil from the small lanterns, which provided the only source of light, made the smoke linger like a wet fog. The roof, often patched with salt, provided a light covering of dirt over the gathering, as rain would sometimes carry it through the cracks and down onto the meal.
Lovely Lord Chancellor. Will all the noble women gather in the great hallway, finest gowns, velvet jewels, and cake fashion of the most expensive materials. Families once separated by distance reunite and arrange suitable marriages for the children, exchange news, and of course later there'll be minstrels and dancing.
Yes, my lady, and all of this upon ground that is completely covered with straw. The fleas that escape from it gnaw at the diners' ankles and legs. Uneaten portions of the food are tossed to lord's dogs belonging to the homeowner and have been given free rein to wander about, fighting over scraps.
Hooray! The servants carried the feast on enormous platters, and in a moment's time the tables were covered in roasted gages awaiting the governor. Bounties up by Lixie and Freedom alongside sumptuous meat pies, fresh bread, and pastries.
However, once the food has been distributed, it is consumed by hand. A small pestle is placed at each setting so that the food, which is poured into an open loaf of bread, known as a trencher loaf, can be mashed up into a gruel. The softened bread and gruel being easier to eat by many of the celebrants who, unaware of dental hygiene, have long since lost their teeth.
Oh, yuck! Let's call that worst case scenario, shall we? Do you see now what I meant by modern day surroundings? Well, gathering preparing food for a feast that involves such large numbers of visiting nobles was an enormous undertaking.
Vegetables, produce, and grains were harvested, and great hunts were organized. Among us hunting the royal falconer and his birds of prey. He was often accompanied by the noble men.
And ladies of the court, since the art of falconry was considered sport as well as a means of gathering game. Oh, suspend but a moment of the invitation to an edible tenement and feast, and join us in the hunt.
Ah, many a morning has the master of hawks and I stalked the great forest on the hunt. Falcons on our fist, in an ancient ceremony heading back to time forgotten.
We hunter upon desist. Sir William, our master falconer, seeks the chase.
Be still, my noble guests. Do not see the attention of this mighty bird of prey. Remain in your seats and do not attempt to distract her from her purpose. For the talons are sharp, and the keen eyes are locked upon the task.
The falcon, poised for flight, has come forth hooded, but once the hood is removed, the age-old dance of hunted and hunter begins.
Behold, a sport of kings! To assure the watchful eye of Sir William that his charge remains keen to the law.
Now, the master falconer falconer must allow the bird a little meat off the lure to ensure she remains keen or hungry for the target for flight in the future. And then he'll entice her back to his glove.
That is amazing. No, my lord.
To fist and to feast, well done, my lord. For now, raise your voices for our master falconer, Sir William, and his mighty bird of prey.
The master falconer.
As always, my lord.
I have
This is
something
very eager for a morning sun. He that all is prepared. We'll leave it all.
Well done, Sir William. Fairly well.
Master falconer. Amazing. Okay, when is the food coming?
Now, in the medieval era, there were two ways which a man could attain the rank of knighthood. He could be dubbed a knight on the field of battle, for valor in service to his lord, or, as was usually the case, the son of a knight would become a squire at a very early age. He would be expected to perform every chore assigned to him, this teaching him the importance of humility and service, the qualities of a true knight. Later, he would go through rigorous training. He would learn the arts of horsemanship and master weaponry.
Ideally, a young squire will learn to read and write and be educated in business affairs, since he would be expected to administer lands held by the king once he achieved his rank. His education included instruction in the arts as well. Music, dancing, poetry, and courtly manners were all parts of a young man's training.
For many centuries, the path to knighthood remained remarkably unchanged. When a young man embarked upon his journey towards knighthood, he would start with the duties of a squire, tending to the horses, maintaining the equipment of the knights, daily training in horsemanship. These will all continue until the squire is prepared to assume his role as a knight. But most important is his mastery of weapons and the art of war. When called upon to defend his land and his home, the knight must possess these skills in order to fashion a victory. At the tournament, he learns to pit his skills against other knights, so that when he is called to serve his king, he is prepared for battle. Training played an important role in the creation of a knight. In order to maximize strength and minimize injury, the knights and squires maintained a strict regimen of physical exercise. The enormous demands of the battlefield and the tournament required proper sword-fighting form and physical health. The modern approach to physical training was unavailable to the medieval knight. In the absence of weight training, fitness counseling, or many times even a nutritious diet, the knight forged his own way when it came to fitness. Years of training and fearlessness in the midst of the fight carried the day, and in the end, they were rewarded with rank and title.
The sense of drama that surrounded the combat at a medieval tournament has been lost to antiquity. What must it have been like to have trained and competed in these long-ago contests, and how to recreate it here?
While the altar choreography lies center of stage combat, the crucial element is physical training. Although the armed combat in itself is dangerous, the real risk to our knights here is the lack of preparation. Even with daily training, a knight at His Majesty's Castle waits 6 months to a year before ever performing his first fight in the Grand Arena.
You see, the weapons are real. Used centuries ago against opponents in suits of armor. Their weight for use in our tournament is much reduced. They are made of lightweight yet durable titanium, yet they remain both dangerous and lethal, my lord.
The structure of all sword combat is composed of some very basic blocks and strikes. It is only when these simple factors are layered together can we recreate the drama and the excitement of medieval contests. These basic movements are the head strike, the leg strike, the shoulder strike, As you can see, each strike is aimed at a specific part of the opponent's body and is answered with a blocking movement. A variety of other attack and defense maneuvers follow. They are the jab, the chop, the cut, the disarm, and of course, the kill. The medieval sword fight also incorporated elements of more traditional hand-to-hand combat. This secondary layer of fight choreography includes the kick, the ball, let me help you, Squire, and the flip.
These points of choreography can now be layered in with the original series of blocks and strikes. In order to provide a sense of realism to the scene, we use body posture and adopt a combat stance to stop the opponent, sizing up his strengths and his weaknesses. This realism can be used during the exchange of blows within the combat. Here you can see the importance of reaction during stage choreography. The responsibility of selling the move lies with the knight receiving the strike. Watch again, this time as the squire sells his reaction. That's got to hurt. Every day here at the castle, the knights engage in practice and run-throughs of the entire fight. This teaches muscle memory and, most importantly, safety. In order to prevent injury, the knights can rely on the familiarity with the movements so that they become distracted for a split second. Perhaps, if you are clumsy, you might be able to identify many of the basic elements of fight choreography during this next run-through.
Now we begin to lay the elements of modern theatre over our choreographed combat scheme. Lights serve to fence in the combatants, highlighting the setting in which we want to focus your attention. The presence of a hazing effect lends a three-dimensional appearance to the lighting. Finally, a piece of music is added, one that suspends the listener in time and creates a feeling of urgency and danger. With the elements layered one on top of the other, the combat begins.
level of training each knight has accomplished.
Each fight has two sides that must be learned. Mastering each side of all the fights that comprise the show can take many years. But once he has completed his training, just as it was centuries ago, our knight is under an oath never to use his newfound